All right, we are recording the backup right now. This is backup. I'm gonna put it on the table so we can hear it.
It's been a rough 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's all right. It's not as rough as losing our interview with Joe Kelly.
That's true. That made me want to fucking cry.
That one.
I wake up with a hot sweat sometimes.
I still hope he'll come back sometime so I could interview him again. Because he's like the sweetest guy.
Oh yeah, he's so cool.
And he was like, "You like my comics?"
You should start the show like you're starting the show, and then explain like, "Hey, we lost some stuff. You're going to hear the first half of the show at the end after the review."
Okay.
And then and then we'll just move on.
Before we get started on this episode of Real Nerds Podcast, remember you can connect to the Real Nerds in many ways. You can follow us on Twitter at Real Nerds. You can go to our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can like us on Facebook. You can also call us 720-6nerds5. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show.
Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic Con 2016 and beyond for the second time tonight. If you're wondering why this is starting right now, modern technology gives us many advantages over primitive man.
I wouldn't call my 6-year-old laptop modern technology, but yeah.
But one of the disadvantages is if we lose something, it's gone. But luckily, one of us came prepared and made an audio backup. Zach Eastman is here.
You're
a saint. You sir are a saint.
Stop it!
I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, we have to do the whole podcast together. And Zach just looks at me and goes, well, I have a backup. Why were you doing that? Like, oh.
When I was guest hosting the show, I made backups just in case something like that happened. This was like last year.
Yeah.
So I made backups. So now it's become a force of habit. I have backups of when I came back into town and did Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. So.
And now we've learned the lesson of, hey, when we do this, we're just going to take one of our phones and
or
put it
just
on
start
the table
bringing
and
the
record
Zoom
it.
and just putting it in
Yeah.
there.
Hey, we do that too. Yeah.
We'll figure something out. One of these days, we've only been doing this for 5 years.
Hey, the truth is we have not lost an episode in a very long time.
That's true.
So
it happens, but we're going to do the end of the show first, and then you're going to hear the beginning of the show.
So bye. No.
So you're going to hear the beginning of the show after we review In the Heart of the Sea, which we saw this week.
Yeah.
Because we're not sure about the audio quality on the backup. It sounded good when we were testing it.
But it's going to sound like it was on a phone. So it's just going to sound different. Right.
So we're going to give you the sweet, sweet sound of our voices first. And then, so thank you, Zach, for coming and bailing us out.
No problem.
And being a part of our show.
Of course.
So this is what we've been watching this week. I'm going to pet the fake graphic that's going to go on the TV screen that no one's seeing.
What? It's a podcast.
Fuck.
Oh, we got movie side! This is my boomstick!
I love being a turtle!
You're getting your wishes, so sit down!
Great Scott!
The line must be drawn here.
Damn you all to hell! And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my vengeance upon thee.
Now you're getting nasty.
Zach, what did you watch this week?
What did I watch this week? I didn't watch James's laptop freeze.
Oh.
You son of a bitch.
I had to. That's my shtick. What did I watch this week? I actually watched. I've been doing documentaries a lot lately. And the two that stand out the most have been Richard Stanley's a Richard Stanley documentary called Lost Soul. And it's about the making of The Island of Dr. Moreau from 1996.
I heard about that movie.
Cool.
It is an absolutely insane journey through what it's like to make a multi-million-dollar movie, and apparently witchcraft and voodoo.
I really want to watch that. I read a whole, I think it was a 20-page article in Entertainment Weekly about that.
Did you so you know some of the stuff that Richard Stanley talks about, like where it's just like I have pagan blood in my streams, and then this is why I put a curse.
And
on.
It wasn't in a few days. He only shot 2 scenes or something, and he was fired in because he wasn't doing anything right and was running over budget. And
the documentary goes into, like, there were weather elements against him. Val Kilmer was acting up.
no,
There's a lot of mitigating factors as to why he got fired. The ultimately the thing is that I guess just there were just a lot of forces of nature coming against him. I don't want to spoil this documentary for you. There is something at the end of that documentary that inspired me to no end about some kind of story that I'd love to write down the line. But there's a part of the story where Richard Stanley comes back in such a way that you're kind of like, there's sweet justice in the world for art. The other documentary I saw was Magician, the amazing work of Orson Welles. And I knew a lot about Orson Welles' career, but I had no idea about some of the films that he made. Like, I didn't know he made another version of Othello. I was not sure about all the stuff that went into the making of his Don Quixote. Also, they talk a lot about his coming back to America and essentially being like a plaudit for talk shows. Like, just coming on and talking about his career, but he was living in a damn near poverty for most of his life because of just forces of nature, again, against an artist who, you know, clearly changed the scope of cinema that we know it. Like, who doesn't know what Citizen Kane is? Regardless if you like it or not, it's there, and it's an influence on some people. So, you know, like, it was a good documentary, but it was a little too short for me. I wish that there was a little bit more information about his radio career, because that's an extensive part of his life. But they do talk about War of the Worlds, which is, if anybody doesn't know, he scared the world by making us think we were being invaded by aliens back in 1938, which shows you how many people trusted the radio back then. Imagine if a podcast tried to do that now. Like, it'd just be like, if the invasion is happening, why is it not going up until next week? Well, you know, we got to get sponsored by Audible and
Yeah.
And then as far as feature films go, I saw Spotlight.
Cool.
Very good contender for the Best Picture race. Michael Keaton's great in it. Mark Ruffalo's fantastic in it. What else did I see? I saw Victor Frankenstein.
you were the one.
How is
person.
that?
Yeah. I was the one, and I really wish that I could bring it back to zero. Actually, I didn't hate it.
Okay.
But there's something like, and you and I have had to talk about the classic Universal monster movies before. There's a point in the first 15 to 20 minutes of that movie where I was like, okay, I'm on board. I'm on board with this. And then it keeps going and going and going. And then it kind of ends on a cliffhanger note where, like, I'm just going to spoil it, because I don't think many people are going to go see it.
Most people don't know the movie exists.
He creates the monster at the end, but they have to destroy it because it's
a monster.
It's a monster, and it's a quote-unquote abomination against God and stuff like that. Like, 'cause I'm not going to get into the whole debate here.
Right.
That's for another podcast called Was Mary Shelley a godless fraud or not? The ending ends it in an Avengers-like setup, which is like, I've discovered that we were missing one element from the whole experiment, a brain. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? I paid $10 for this ticket for a matinee at the Landmark.
For some evil scientists to not think like, hey, if we're gonna resurrect some dude from the dead and patch him together from different parts of different people, do we need a brain?
And he's writing this letter to Igor, and he says, like, sincerely yours, Victor
Abby Normal.
Abby Normal. Or remember the moment where he pans across the camera and it's like fresh head, and he goes, I ain't got nobody, and nobody cares for me. Igor Froderick. My question was, ultimately, the best way I can review Victor Frankenstein is to just say the question is not how does this hold up to other Frankenstein movies. The question is how does this hold up to Young Frankenstein, and it doesn't. So that's my ultimate review of it. And then the last film I saw together with Brad was Trumbo.
What is that?
Trumbo is Bryan Cranston's turn as Dalton Trumbo, the writer who was blacklisted in the 1950s. He wrote a film that you might have heard of called Roman Holiday.
Oh, yeah.
And Spartacus.
That's a movie that Kristen Bell was in it, and they ride around on a scooter.
No.
That's not the one?
We're gonna go back to the room and we're gonna have a whole film history lesson, buddy. Roman Holiday is a rom-com, essentially of the day with Audrey Hepburn.
That if anybody has seen When in Rome, it's the same movie, but older and much better.
Ostensibly, yes. You know, like Trumbo is directed by Jay Roach, who directed the Austin Powers movies.
Meet the Parents.
And Meet the Parents. And
Yeah, don't leave out that great film.
But he also directed an HBO film called Recount, which is a lot more serious, and also The Game Change, which is
That's that movie where Julianne Moore plays that woman?
yeah, that woman.
Right,
Yes,
yeah.
that woman. And anyway, he's matured a lot as a director, because there's a moment in that film where Michael Stolbarg from Steve Jobs and A Serious Man, more aptly,
Yeah.
he plays Edward G. Robinson, who, if you don't know who Edward G. Robinson is, then you don't know who Chief Wiggum is, essentially, from The Simpsons. But he plays Edward G. Robinson in and out of character, because he didn't really speak like that, sadly, because then it ruins all my dreams. But there's a moment where Edward G. Robinson, essentially in the film, has to, and it's historical record, so it's not really a spoiler, he testified before Congress. And he testified essentially to the fact that these are the people that he knew, and he named Dalton among them. So he and Trumbo are in a room together, and they're talking about what the Blacklist did, and Michael Stolbarg gives this great monologue about how he doesn't have a way to have a surrogate for what he does. He can't write something because he's an actor. He can't act and then have somebody else's name placed on it because everybody knows what he looks like and who he is. So it's a middle ground to the Blacklist that I've never seen portrayed before on screen. And it's mature. It's not like the most balanced thing in the world, because it still leans heavily on, well, you were wrong still.
Yeah.
But he balances that film. You've talked about this expression before, like the edge of a knife a little bit.
Yeah.
And it balances pretty well on the edge of that knife. Where, like, you know, you start to feel like, wow, this is a grown-up making this movie. This isn't the same director who was making Dr. Evil.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I give it all the props in the world for achieving that scene alone. And Helen Mirren is a really good head of hopper. There's a guy in there who plays John Wayne really well, to the point where I would see a whole John Wayne biopic starring that guy, but I can't remember for the life of me who played him. It's definitely an awards contender. Bryan Cranston is great as Dalton Trumbo.
Cool.
Gives this wonderful performance, and I would just go check it out. It's a really splendid film.
Where's it at?
You can see it at the Mayan, at the Landmark Mayan, and you can also, actually no, you don't go see it where Brad and I go and see it. So we saw it where I used to work for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
At the Greenwood Plaza 12 Landmark.
Yeah.
Or not Landmark, Regal.
Yeah.
And they got rid of their box office. They're selling their tickets at the concession stand, and the whole place has gone to shit.
Huh.
So go see it at the Landmark Mayan, where it's a historical theater.
Yeah.
So, and then the last thing that I watched this week was I finally sat down and watched Star Wars Clone Wars,
Oh, yeah.
the animated show
Cool.
movie. Yeah.
Wait, the
movie that came out from Warner
okay,
Brothers.
but
Yeah.
not the original TV, not the cartoon show, but the like movie that they made after the cartoon show.
Yeah, the movie
Yes.
they made after the cartoon show
Cool.
that's supposed to be The Bridge Gap.
Yeah, that's actually the one I haven't seen.
You know, because I'm getting in a Star Wars mood, and I've started watching the Clone Wars TV show, and I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
In spite of all
George Lucas wasn't involved
Yeah.
in the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, and you know, like, this movie is for kids. It's for kids. It's unfair of me to judge it because I saw it. This is the second time I've seen it because I'm getting Star Wars up because I'm going to the marathon next week. I think the problem with that film is that it's just the animation. It's not even the story. It's just the animation. The animation looks like a Thunderbirds show.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but, part of Star Wars for me is it looking as best as it can, and this wasn't as best as it could be for me.
And that the cartoon show was like a drawn animation, if I remember correctly.
Well, there's the CG show, and then there's the Genndy Tartakovsky one.
Right.
The Genndy Tartakovsky one is good.
Right.
The one that I saw was the CG stilted puppet one.
It's after they started putting a whole lot more money into it, or theoretically, it got more attention. It got big, and then George Lucas got involved, and it started changing and getting weird.
Yeah, but so far the show's really good.
Oh, okay, good.
For what it is, in my opinion, it's not terrible. But the problem that I have with this is that Christopher Lee's performance is kind of wasted. So is Sam Jackson's because they're both in it.
Wow, it's actually them.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And their performances are kind of wasted on this bad animation.
Yeah.
So, but overall, not a bad movie. It's for kids. It's for my cousin Hayden. It's for him.
Yeah.
It's not for us.
That's fair.
Adults. So that's all I saw this week.
Cool.
Brad, want to piggyback off Trumbo?
Yeah. Zach covered most of it. I liked it. I thought the script is really good. A lot of good dialogue and interactions. Great playground for actors to play in.
Cool.
Story is kind of similar. They kind of covered a lot of it in the Majestic, so just
Trumbo's a lot like. As soon as you said it, I was like, "You like the Majestic? Yeah, I love that movie."
Yeah, just take out the whole theater part of the Majestic, and you've got
that's the part I like.
The cliff notes of
drama,
what Trumbo is. So, and it's just amazing that just to peek into those people's lives, all those writers who were out of work just because someone was on a witch hunt for them.
Yeah.
Whether or not they fully believed in communism, they just labeled themselves as it and got taken to task for it. And then Hedda Hopper, what a bitch.
Not far off from the real person, so you can still say it. Hedda Hopper, what a bitch.
It almost single-handedly ruined all those people's lives. But the turning point, how she gets defeated, is when they showed JFK coming out of Spartacus and saying, yeah, that was a good movie. And she feels like her whole world is crumbling. And it just made me suspicious that, maybe his assassination is connected to her, losing. It's because she was so vindictive against everyone in that movie. It's
Holy shit.
I'm suspicious that she set up the JFK assassination.
This is turning into an Oliver Stone film right here, man.
People should look into that.
The unexplored conspiracy.
That's the one.
Back and to the left, as you can see, Hedda Hopper's shiny, feathery hat waving off the grassy knolls. Kevin Costner, JFK 2, Electric Boogaloo.
That's pretty awesome.
Trumbo, go see it. It's cool. Cool. And then I finally picked up Jean-Claude Van Damme's latest movie, Pound of Flesh.
Nice.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah. The box says they took his kidney and he wants it back.
It doesn't really. I thought you were making a joke.
No, there's also another great line on the back in that same vein, but I forget what it is.
Okay.
But yeah. It sounds awesome, but the movie is not awesome. And I'd say a third of it takes place in a car as characters are driving from one scene to another, and it's blatantly green screen traveling. Not only are the matte lines bad, where they keyed out the green, but also when they zoom in to different focal lengths of the characters talking, the background doesn't quite change properly. They'll do a wide shot of maybe 3 characters in the car, and you'll see a blurry background behind them, but then they'll zoom into the person in the passenger seat, and then the size of the building behind them is suddenly way bigger proportion to a normal person than it should be.
See, what you don't know is that's all practical, and there's just some dude who's moving a screen with.
There is special features on the disc that show there's a green screen around them, but there's also guys like above the car just like moving little lights to like go through the cab because the roof's been cut out. Yeah. And they're just like doing this, swinging back and forth. You can't see at home what I'm doing, but I'm just swinging my hand back and forth. These like LED or like fluorescent rods. So that's pretty lame.
So
Um,
I don't know if there's a tagline on the back, but the poster that's on Amazon, the tagline there is "The black market is about to get bloody."
yeah, I think that was it. Yeah.
So is he in it a lot, or is it one of those movies where he's on the cover and he's in it for like 10
No,
minutes?
he's one of the main characters, and then there's so the premise is
Does this car blow up in the movie? Is there a big? Does he walk away from a exploding car in the movie
I don't remember. There was a part where I kind of stopped
with a
paying
shotgun?
attention.
Okay, in a suit.
I don't think he wears that costume at all, though, and I don't think he wields that gun. But I don't remember it. But the
Okay.
premise is right away wakes up in a bathtub, kidneys missing, bloody sheets, starts flashing back to like where was I the night before, and they right away explain the whole night away, except for the fact like where did his kidney go? So he's showing like they're showing him like having sex with this girl, and then meeting at the bar. And then talking to the bartender, like all in flashback stuff as he's trying to like
In that order?
back and
Oh, okay.
forth.
Oh,
Like
okay.
it's all out of sequence.
Gotcha.
He's just randomly remembering different
Like,
things.
first he has sex with her, then he takes her to the bar and chats her up a bit.
Yeah. No, he runs into different things in the room, and they start to trigger different out of sequence stuff that he remembers.
Right.
And there's like there is actually eventually finds this bookcase where there's instructions on how to take these pills, you'll feel better. Thank you for the kidney.
Merry Christmas.
So
Yeah.
long, and thanks for all the kidneys.
And then he calls up his buddies to come over and help him. And I guess his brother's in town. So
Did his brother take the kidney?
it's hard to talk about this because if I'll spoil it, no one's gonna watch it. but me.
No!
So he
It's
and his
a Van
brother
Damme
have
movie
this.
you just said was bad. No one is watching this.
He and his brother have this past. You feel this tension right away.
Is it a past where they both had two kidneys?
Stop derailing me. We'll be here all night.
I know.
So right away, you don't know a lot about Van Damme, other than he's like a hired gun. But his brother, I think they're in town for a reunion, and you kind of get like exposition of his daughter's in the hospital, and you don't know why. And also his wife died like a couple years ago, and so
Kidney failure.
cancer. And then so Van Damme assembles him and his crew to go track down like what happened to his kidney. So they go back to the bar where he thinks it all started, and then there's this fight when the bartender pretends that she never talked to him before, and then you find out that the bar is connected to the kidney theft, and then like one of his buddies gets murdered in the bar fight, and then he and his brother have this conversation. That you find out that there's such an urgency to get his kidney back because his niece is in the hospital, and he was going to he was there in Thailand to give her his kidney. And then as you go along, they start to bring up details of like, well, why can't the dad give her the kidney? And then you find out that before she died, his wife fooled around with Van Damme, and that the daughter is actually Van Damme's daughter, and his brother's been taking care of her the whole time. So,
and then he fights his brother?
So Van Damme's kidney is the only donor that she can accept, and so they keep going to track down the people who took it, and then they get to, it turns out it's this big rich guy, super wealthy guy
Guy who can't buy his own kidneys, yeah.
who can buy his own kidneys,
Right.
But not the legal way apparently.
Right.
But they fight through all his goons and henchmen, and this guy Drake, who's the opposite Van Damme badass.
Played by Drake?
No.
Okay.
They find the old man, and then he gets roughed up, and then Drake comes in, tries to stop him. He gets killed, and then they inspect the old man, and he has had no operations done on him. So like, well, where's the kidney? And then
He ate it.
they bust through this other room, and it's the old guy's grandson got the kidney. And so...
And they kill him.
Oh, also... God, I can't believe I forgot this. The brother's like a former priest.
Sure. Why
So...
not?
When Van Damme, early in the movie, when Van Damme is like searching through like the hotel room, he finds a Bible in the desk drawer, and he actually takes it with him and starts
Goddamn
spouting
Gideons.
sermons as he beats people with it, smashing people in the eye with the corner of the book, knocking people out with the book, saying like proverbs.
What?
Yeah,
Thou shalt not steal.
Yeah. in that vein. So yeah, it's his brother's man of the cloth, and then when they find that the old guy's grandson is the kid who got it, earlier Van Damme said like, I would do anything, like even kill people to save your daughter.
With a Bible.
How far would you go? And so when they finally get to the grandson, his brother's ready to fire a shotgun into this kid. And Van Damme's like, don't do it, man. I was wrong. You can't come back from this. And then he lets it go. But Van Damme was injured in the fight. And he's been bleeding out this whole time. So when they go back to...
He's also missing a kidney.
And he's missing a kidney. So when they go back to the hospital to basically say like, sorry, daughter, you're going to die. Because we're not going to take it out of this grandson kid.
No.
Van Damme bleeds out in the hospital. And he's
Right,
like,
and then they give
just
him
take the last one.
Right.
And yeah.
So
Saves her life.
do they also find out that like Van Damme is also the father of the grandson of the bad guy?
No. But there's this whole time the girl who he slept with, who got
At
the
the
people
beginning,
in to
that
take
they
his
chats up
kidney.
at the bar, yeah.
They go to this like summer home, and there's photographs on the fireplace. And she picks one up, and it looks exactly like her. And it turns out that they picked her because she looks like his brother's wife,
Right.
his mistress, basically.
And now she's pregnant
Just
with a kid that
coincidentally.
has kidney failure.
No, but she ends up pairing up with his brother at the end.
Oh,
And the daughter.
What?
So he basically gets his wife back in a way.
No, he doesn't.
But she looks like him.
He just gets an evil woman who steals kidneys that looks like the
She didn't
woman
steal the
who
kidney.
cheated on him.
She just helped them steal a kidney. And she regrets it.
That doesn't count.
Yeah.
This film
This
has
sounds
more
awful.
twists and turns than in any movie, maybe ever. I don't know. Can you think of anything else?
Is it? What you just described sounds fucking awesome. Is it worth watching now?
No,
Like
because
because I want to see a guy like beat somebody up with a Gideon. Like that sounds awesome.
it would be a great midnight movie, I think. Like
Okay.
in the vein of
All right, yeah.
not The
Samurai
Room,
Cop.
but like Samurai Cop, or maybe
Yeah.
even Faithful Findings. Just the fact that he goes around like beating people with the Bible, and but there's no like great action. And like I said, a third of the movie is them driving to places in
Ugh.
horrible green screen cars.
All right,
Um,
never mind.
but there is one like, and the action is pretty much like hand to fist, punching, kicking.
Yeah.
But there's one cool part where Drake has Van Damme cornered, and they cut this wide shot, and he just like drops, like it's almost like he takes all the weight out of his body and just kind of drops to the floor and side kicks Drake in the shins
Ooh.
as Drake pulls the trigger on his head. Yeah, that was a pretty sweet shot. But
That's cool.
yeah,
Okay,
Pound of Flesh.
I'm really glad you told me about it.
Yeah, because I bought that Avengers Steelbook. I got it for free. So yep.
Good, cool.
James, what you watch this week?
So I only got two quick things. I'm watching through, but not. I'm about halfway through The Man in the High Castle, which is good. I'm excited to be done with it because I want to know where it's going. Because I like right now I feel a little bit lost. You know, like I feel like they're setting a lot of stuff up, but I'm like 5 episodes in, so I'm like I'm interested in the characters, but there's this mystery you're not really taking it anywhere. So anyway, but I think it's good. I think it's worth checking out. And then the other thing is that I watched Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl today because I was like, it's on my list of stuff I'm trying to check off for the year, and it was one of the like indie films from the early part of the year that people were talking about, and there was a lot of praise for. And this movie is really conflicting because I think it's well made. It basically tells the story of this kid in high school who's really weird and doesn't really have any friends because he understands all of the like little social subgroups in his school, and he understands them well enough that he knows how to completely stay out of them and be as invisible as possible, so that like he doesn't have to be a part of any weird politics or anything. And then he's got this kid Earl who's his friend, and they make shitty films together. Brad, this may sound familiar to you. What they do is they take movies that are popular and famous, and then they change the title and make the title dumb, and then they film a short film to match the new dumb title that they came up with. So that's what these kids do, and he doesn't really like them. They're not particularly good. You see some of them, and they're just wacky and weird. And they have an obsession with Werner Herzog. So there's a lot of just like he and Earl will just go to this closet for lunch and eat their lunch in this closet and watch Werner Herzog documentaries, which that's pretty awesome actually.
They're not sweeting movies.
They're not sweeting them. Like it's like a combination.
They're not remaking them. They're making a pun based on them or something.
Right, exactly. So they'll rename the movie. I wish I could remember one.
Instead of Star Wars, like Star Wars.
But it's really weird. It's really weird stuff. Like one of them is A Box of Lips Now, but it is about a box of tulips. So they're shortening the word tulips to lips, and so that it's a box of it's these guys in a war, and then they find a box of lips. It's dumb shit like that. Like that's what these guys do with their free time, which is cool. And then they meet this girl and she's dying, and so his mom.
Why?
There's this girl named Rachel at school who, I mean, he knows of her, but just like everybody else, he's not friends with anybody. But she gets leukemia, and his mom makes him be friends with her. So she's like, hey, Greg, you have got to go and talk to this Rachel girl and be nice to her because she's dying. And he's like, that's really awkward. What am I supposed to do? Like, show up and be like, hi, now that you're dying, I want to give you some time. Like, whatever. But that's exactly what he ends up having to do. And then they end up being friends. And, there is this little story about, her struggling with going through chemo and him having to learn to actually get friends. So here's the problem. So this movie takes basically every tool and gadget and gimmick that we've seen in every super indie coming of age movie from the last 5 years and shoves just all of it into this movie. The dialogue sometimes is real quippy and weird, like it's a Juno, and it's got subtitles where it'll cut to a different scene and it's like, here's the part where such and such and this. And then it's got the main character is just sort of, he's super quirky. He's like the dude version of a manic pixie dream girl. Only he hates himself and thinks he looks like some kind of animal. Everything reminds you, everything seems like something you've seen before. That's really the problem. And so I'm watching this movie and I'm just kind of frustrated. I'm like, look, you're doing a perfectly fine job making this super darling indie gem bullshit, whatever. It's fine. You did a fine job. And then the end happens. And there's a scene at the end where they take this, there's this little speech that the guy who plays Shane gives this little speech about because when they're worried about whether or not this girl's going to die, he gives this speech about, he was like, I never really knew my dad, and I thought of him one way, and then he died, and all these people were telling me all these stories, and so he's making this argument that sometimes when people die, you learn so much about them after they're dead, and it's like their story continues on, and you still get to experience a lot more of their life because there's all this stuff that they were hiding or that you just didn't see through your relationship with them at the time. And there's this scene later, under some other circumstances that they do that really well. They play that idea in this really amazing way, and they hit that tone just perfect. And I was like, shit, if you just made that movie and you'd made basically, if you'd stripped out all the gimmicky shit and you had just made the spectacular now, where at the end, that is, instead of the scene where he yells at it, he and his mom like fight in the kitchen and he cries a whole lot and then everything gets better, sort of. Like instead of that scene, you have this scene that's in this movie that is so well done, you'd have an amazing film. But then they, like, it's working and it's working and it's working. And then the voiceover comes in where he's writing a letter to fucking a college, and a lot of this is him like telling the story of him telling the story of his life to get a college entry letter, like which we've all seen too many times. And he straight up says the thing that they are, you know, that emotion and that theme that they're showing us so well. They just straight out say it, and you're just like, why are you getting in your way with all of this stuff that is like, it's the traditional stuff that like Ryan just hates about indie films. Like it's all of that stuff, but done over and over and over again, and it's all stuff that you've seen before. And so it's a fine made film. It's one that most people are going to watch and really enjoy, but it's kind of just a lot of gimmicks shoved together, and it's too bad because the story that they have at the core is a really awesome, well written story. So I don't know. It was like disappointing, but also a good movie, if that makes sense.
Sure.
It's just a frustrating one to talk about. So anyway, I wouldn't say no one should see it. You should just sort of know that you're getting into that movie. You're going to see another one of those. Only this one kind of ruins the only special thing about it. So anyway, that's what I watched. Ryan?
After we watched the Nice Guys trailer, I decided I was going to watch Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Good choice.
Because I don't know how many times I've seen it. I don't know, 20 times. But every time I watch that movie, I love it more.
Yeah.
Just because it's so clever and well written and awesomely
Did you
acted.
go to the Alamo?
No, I was in school until 10 that day, so I wasn't able to go, and I was sad. But I came home and watched it that day.
Fair.
But yeah, I mean, the movie is just really cool. Yeah, I love it. I don't know what else I can say about it. It's my favorite Robert Downey Jr. movie.
Yeah.
He's really great in it, and it's kind of his coming back.
Mm-hmm.
And Val Kilmer's really good in it, which, you know. And so when I see the Nice Guys, I'm like, oh yeah, there's Robert Downey Jr., it's Ryan Gosling, and Russell Crowe is Val Kilmer.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah.
But now Shane Black has more money, so he can make an even cooler movie. But yeah, so I just fall in love with that movie because it's set up so cool. There's a part in it where Robert Downey Jr. loses his finger because he gets his finger slammed in the door. But there's two scenes before that I didn't even notice, and this is how great of an actor he is, or maybe the direction from Shane Black.
Yeah.
But he puts his hand in the same spot every time. And then the one time she gets mad at him and slams the door on him, he loses his finger.
Right.
So it's just a clever little, like, I love character moments like that.
Yeah.
Where, you know, it's just little things, subtle things that they do. So yeah, if you haven't seen Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, you should definitely get it because I think it's a Blu-ray you can get for like $6.
Yeah.
And it's well worth it.
Yeah.
I also watched a movie called I, Madman, which is a Scream Factory film release. It's like a pulpy noir film, but with a slasher in it.
Okay.
It's weird, but it's kind of good. It's so different in the horror genre that I kind of enjoyed it. Basically, the premise is this lady works in a library or a bookstore, and she picks up this book. Oh, I love the name of this book. It's so B-movie. It's awesome. It's No Retreat, hence No Pain or something. I forget the name of it. It's not that, but it's really cool.
Poetic title.
Yeah, and it's about this doctor who keeps this half jackal, half boy in his like apartment.
Yeah.
And so that's how the film opens. It opens with that story, and it's her reading the book, and she puts it down, and she's trying to find this author's second book called I, Madman. And when it just shows up on her front door the next day, she's reading it, and as she's reading it, the evil guy from the book starts showing up in her life.
Oh, okay.
And so you don't know if it's real or if it's not. And I mean, then it goes into the 80s kind of slasher where he scalps like this lady and sews her like scalp to his head. And it's a really interesting film. It dates itself because it has stop motion in it, but the stop motion looks cool. You can even see the strings sometimes. I mean, it's 80s charm. I don't mind it at all. So yeah, if you're looking for like kind of an offbeat horror film, it's not a great film, but it's not a bad one. And I respect anything that tries hard. And the director is really cool because he even did really harsh reds a lot to give it that kind of pulpy feel. And anytime the slasher guy was on screen, there was fog and things to make it more surreal. It just kind of loses it at the end, but that happens to a lot of horror films. I also watched Ant-Man again, and I was really excited because I got the Blu-ray 3D, and it comes with like this charcoal case. So it comes with like the normal slip case. It has a really cool Ant-Man like moving, and then you take it off, and the Blu-ray case isn't blue or red; it's charcoal. So I think it's cool when they change them up. Because I think if you get the standard edition of Ant-Man, it doesn't have a slip on it; it's just a black case.
Yeah.
And they did that with Avengers: Age of Ultron too.
Yeah. Except it was red.
Yeah, but yeah, so like the Avengers: Age of Ultron is like a solid red if you get standard, but if you get the 3D, it's like a candy red where it's kind of see-through. So they look really cool. But Ant-Man's still a really fun movie. I had a lot of fun watching it again. I love the part where he's trying to convince Scott to Michael Douglas character Hank Pym is trying to convince Scott to help him out. And he says, Scott, I believe everybody gets a second chance. Whatever you want me to do, I'm tired of breaking in and stealing shit. Scott, I want you to break into a place and steal some shit. Okay. I just love it's Adam McKay. I hear his voice a lot in scripts, and that's definitely an Adam McKay moment.
Oh yeah.
I rewatched it too. The part where they're having tea and the ants bring over the sugar cubes. He's like, "Would you like 2 pieces of sugar?" And then you see the ants move, and just Paul Rudd's face of like, I'm good.
Yeah.
They turn around.
And the moment too where it's such a great scene where Hank tells his daughter what happened to her mom, and she's like, okay, but why couldn't you tell me sooner? And then it cuts this really awkward Paul Rudd going, all right, we solved it, and I've ruined the moment. Who wants tea? And he just leaves. That movie's really fun. Yeah, and so I watched that. I also watched Adam Sandler's new movie, The Ridiculous Six, on Netflix.
Cool.
Brad, I think, saw the last 30 minutes of it.
That was the last 30?
Yeah, like the last 30 or so. It's not as bad as when I read reviews. I have a soft spot for Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
But I don't think Brad laughed at some moments. I mean, it's stupid, but it's not like horrible.
Traditional Sandler.
It would be decent enough for like a direct-to-DVD release.
Yeah.
Like if this is in theaters, people would have been like...
Well, yeah, I mean...
yeah.
But what I got from it, too, though, he would not put as much effort into it as if he got it theatrical.
Yeah.
In it, basically, he plays a white guy who was adopted by Native Americans, and he never knew who his father was, but one day his father, played by Nick Nolte, shows up and says, I've been looking for you, son. Like, what the fuck happened to Nick Nolte? And
that's what drinking does.
Yeah. And tons of cigarettes. And so he gets kidnapped by this gang, and so Adam Sandler decides he's going to go try to find $50,000 to save his father. And along the way, he finds out that his father also has 5 other sons, and so they join this posse called the Ridiculous Six. And it's like a Robin Hood. They're robbing from the rich and giving back to the poor. And so there's Rob Schneider, who plays a Mexican. And I'm pretty sure Rob Schneider plays the same character, the "you can do it" guy, no matter what ethnicity he is. And Terry Crews is in it. And there's this really funny part where, so they steal this gold nugget from Harvey Keitel's character, and they're in there, and they find out that they're brothers. And Terry Crews says, "Man, I don't know how I can tell you guys this, but I'm half black, half white." And they go, okay. Like, it's a big bombshell. Then later in the movie, he says, "You guys don't know how great it felt that I told you that I'm black." He's like, totally black. It's like, and Vanilla Ice plays Mark Twain.
That's what? Yeah. Yeah.
And
that was funny because he plays Mark Twain, but it's like modern Mark Twain.
Yeah, modern Mark Twain. He's like, "What's up, homies?"
He's not a southerner. Yeah, he's like, "What up, homies?"
Yeah.
He's dancing and shit.
And David Spade plays General Custer. And but there's so many like funny little bits. What was his line where he's like, "Yeah, someone said something about his long blonde hair."
Yeah, Wyatt Earp's like admiring his hair.
Yeah, he said, "Yeah, I would go get a haircut, but if I went to my new barber, it'd be like my hair was scalped. And I don't need that to happen to me. It's like stupid lines like that. It's pretty funny.
Who does John Lovitz play in the movie? Because I saw him on the cast list.
Some poker
guy. Jorge Garcia's in it.
Oh, good.
There's tons of like really big people. I mean, and there's like funny parts. So Harvey Keitel plays this gangster who's smiling, and he's only in it for like 10 minutes, but so he's going to kill Adam Sandler and all the other guys, and Rob Schneider's riding his burro, and he hits him in the head with the shovel, but it decapitates him. So his body's still like going around and shooting, and it's shooting his head lying on the ground. And Rob Schneider's like, I only meant to hit him with it. I didn't mean to decapitate him. It's stupid shit like that. Or Adam Sandler turns into a tumbleweed.
Yeah,
when he's,
just magically turns into a tumbleweed.
I don't know. It's so bizarre, but I still laughed at moments. I don't think it was horrible.
Yeah.
There's Will Forte plays a leader of another, like the Left Eye Posse, and Steve Zahn's in it. And to get in the posse, they made him dig out his eyeball with a spoon. And so when like they show this in the shadows, and he's like, "Ow, ow," and he's like, "Oh, it's hanging off," and it's like dangling, like hanging. And then you find out later in the movie, like, Will Forte lifts up his eye patch. And so they made him carve out his eye, but nobody else in the gang carved out their eye. It's stupid shit like that. It's really stupid. And Will Forte's like, he's trying to find Adam Sandler's character, and he pulls up on the Apache, area, I don't know, settlement. Reservation. I don't know what you call it. Village. And he's like, "Hey, Beaver Breath." And the chick looks over and says, "How does he know my name?" And he goes, "Holy shit, that's your name? Who's that? A diarrhea stick?" It's so stupid. But the big controversy about it being offensive, it's not offensive. It's like stupid, like high school, middle school humor.
Yeah.
Juvenile humor.
Yeah.
It's not like anything like majorly like...
Yeah, like the worst thing is Steve Zahn says, "I don't like them engines."
Okay.
Yeah. So they made a big stink, and it's really a juvenile humor. It's harmless.
Yeah.
I'll watch it.
But if you're bored one day and you want to watch a comedy western, then you have nothing else to do. There's worse things in the world.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I watched this week.
Cool.
This week, me and James
Yep.
saw In the Heart of the Sea. James, should people see In the Heart of the Sea?
Man, this one's rough. I really like the story that they're telling. I'm a fan of Ron Howard most of the time, even when he does even the movies that are generally sort of his stinkers, your Angels and Demons and stuff like that. Like even then, I'm like, okay, cool, I see what you're doing. I like the story of this movie. I would say it's probably worth a rent because the problem is I think that too much of the movie looks cheap and kind of garbagey. I just don't like the way it's shot. I don't like the visuals. Which is too bad because I do genuinely like the story. So I'm just sort of middle of the ground, or middle of the road, I should say. So yeah, I will probably have my parents rent it. Is sort of what I'm saying. Ryan, should people go see this movie?
I don't think it looked cheap. There's some parts in the sea it didn't look right, but I think it was more of how the director of photography wanted it to look.
Yes, and that's my.
I don't think it looks cheap, but I think it's the style because there's some shots
I think I'm not saying that it is cheap. I'm saying that I think the style makes it look cheap.
Okay.
For me.
But I agree. I think
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. I think it's worth a rental. I think the story is cool. I think the pace of the movie is a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Where the climax should be is really early.
Yes.
And then it kind of just coasts along.
Right.
But there's some good moments in it. Yeah, it's a rental. I was hoping it'd be cooler, but here's the trailer for In the Heart of the Sea.
We were headed for the edge of the earth. Left home behind with a sliver of hope. Searching for the truth.
You're married to Whaleman.
Whaleman who loves you.
Promise me. Just come back.
Promise.
What is it? Hold on!
Look where we find ourselves. What offense did we give God to upset himself?
Trust gave way to doubt, hope to superstition. We were cursed.
It's just a whale.
So what you're saying is that Opie didn't manage to tantalize you guys to want to see this in, say, an even bigger format.
No, and in fact, in my theater, I was really bummed. I went and saw it this morning at an AMC, and it didn't fill the screen. So whoever was projecting it made it look like it was like letterbox TV
Weird.
style. Yeah, because it cut off. It didn't go all the way across.
Like
And
they didn't like widen the curtains or
yeah,
whatever?
no, they're widened, but it was like it was,
the projection.
the
was
projection
actually,
was like
shit.
it was a TV screen.
What?
Yeah, it was weird. But the movie is Herman Melville's trying to write the story of inspiration for Moby Dick, and he finds what was it, Thomas Nickerson? Is that right?
Sure,
Tom.
Yeah.
He goes to him, and because he found out that the story that was told to the public about the Essex isn't true,
Right.
and so he wants to find the real story behind it. And the opening I was really into.
Yeah.
I
think the whole bookended story, and even when they jump back to Herman Melville, like I actually really like what's happening in that room.
And I think it's a better Life of Pi, because Life of Pi I thought
Oh God, yes.
was obnoxious. This movie is cool because I love the period piece. I think Chris Hemsworth is really good in it.
It's actually a lot of it reminds me of Life of Pi.
Exactly, but I it's a better movie because I think the director is better.
Yeah.
I'm not taking anything away
And
from
the story is better.
Yeah,
It's
because there's moments that Ron Howard puts the camera or has the camera placed in places. That first scene where they the first well they get where Hemsworth throws the harpoon, but the camera follows the harpoon into the well and it dives, so it gives us like close up of the whale's eye. And it's just going deep, and it's really, really well done. I mean, the movie's shot really well. But the director of photography made this weird choice of, it's like kind of grainy, but like the colors are really saturated.
And it's like too often too bright.
Yeah, it's weird.
Like he'll put the camera, because he'll put the camera in some places where you're close to stuff. Like you're close to inanimate objects in the foreground, and then you've got like it almost feels like this fisheye effect.
Yeah.
And then there's often it's hard to describe. So then you've got actors in the background, working on a boat or whatever. Like this isn't for dialogue scenes, and then like water will splash up on the camera, and so you've got like water on the camera, something right here in front of you, stuff happening in the background that's out of focus, and it's all way too bright.
Yeah,
and
it's
you're just
weird.
Like, it's hard to look at. And then you've got the CG that I just think is like, when I say it's cheap, what I mean is that to do this movie right, you go get a boat and you go out to the ocean and you spend a shit ton of money making Master and Commander, right? A movie that fails at the box office because the budget is so huge that nobody's going to go see it, or not enough people are going to go see it to actually pay for having a boat out in the ocean.
I think Master Commander's problem is the title, but
sure.
I'm just kidding.
We can have that conversation.
Yeah.
But Master and Commander, when you're on that boat, like that boat feels like a real place, and you are there. And for me, like I didn't get that sense very often. And man, when they get, honestly, like when Brad was talking about the bad CG of the car, or the bad like driving in the cars, I feel that way when they're on the little galley boats.
Oh yeah.
Like when they're rowing out after those whales, and there's these CG whales in the water next to them. I'm just like, it looks like Life of Pi to me.
Yeah.
And as good as the CG might be, it's so CG that I just
Yeah.
I'm missing an emotional connection.
It's kind of whiplash for me because I think the main well I think is amazing looking.
Yes.
And the scenes that involve that well are breathtaking.
Specifically, its tail, like that
Yeah.
when they're on the galley boats after it's and that tail comes up. It's really
Because
cool.
I got like on the edge of my seat when that well hit the boat, went under the boat, came back around, and it was like charging. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
This is like Jaws.
It is, yeah. It totally is like Jaws.
And so you get so excited, and the well damages the Essex, and then the movie kind of stops.
Yeah.
And then I know they're trying to show them survive, and you're like, okay, I've seen this better on Castaway. And so he's, stuck in the... So they're stuck in the ships, and, the normal things happen. People start dying. Then they have to eat other people. And, yeah, it's...
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Like, I think that if they had built more into the early part of the movie, and had the climax sort of be the sinking of the ship, but the problem is that the emotional climax is the eating of the people.
Yeah.
Because that's the scene. I mean, that's the scene that I love the most. Is actually when they pull completely out of the story about the man and the whale and back to Herman Melville and Tom and his wife.
Oh no, that's amazing.
Like, that scene's fucking amazing.
Yeah,
it's so good. Because basically, I mean, I guess spoilers, but like when he, he's clearly so haunted by this whole story, and you don't know why. Like, honestly, in my mind, I was just like, well, what? It almost seemed cheesy early on, because I was like, what? Like, ooh, he's really haunted by the fact that he's seen a monster whale, and nobody believes him. Like, I wasn't gonna buy that. And so then when you get the real meat, which is, shit. When you get to the real heart of the problem,
you did it.
Fuck, and because he says they eat the...
Yeah.
When you get to the real core...
There we go.
When you get to the real core of the problem, which is that he's like, I've eaten people. Like, that's his problem. Is that he's terrified that if other people find out that he's eaten people to survive, that his wife won't love him, and they'll all look at him like he's a freak and an abomination. Like, he has this huge guilt, and he's carried it from when he was the kid in that boat to now he's this old man with this big bushy beard who spends all of his days drinking and making these ships in bottles. Like, that story is amazing, and what a great character to tell me. But you're right. Like, as far as the momentum is concerned, you end up spending 30 minutes, 20 minutes just in these boats with these guys slowly deteriorating, and it looks good.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
But,
like, he says that part, and then there's another like 15 minutes of him in the boat.
Yeah, they go back to the boats.
I mean, I know they're trying to tell the story, but I think you should have told that part and then showing them getting rescued, because even the scene, I love the scene too at the end. Or Chris Hemsworth and the captain have to go in and do the inquiry.
Yeah.
And Chris Hemsworth's like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he leaves, and he has that scene with the kid, and I think it's a great scene.
Yeah.
And it kind of has a cool where he walks away, and you're like, oh, what happened to him? And to me, that's good, but you had to slog through another 20 minutes of them on the boat.
Yeah.
And for them to, and I guess too, they notice that there's land, and there's land, and they're like, oh, we're going to see a rescue, and we were rescued.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's it.
No, I agree.
The movie looks cool. I mean, I think it's Ron Howard is a great director.
And Hemsworth does a great job.
Yeah.
So does the guy who plays the captain.
Yep. And I think
the
Spider-Man's in good hands.
The story of their rivalry is fantastic.
Yep. That was a good scene though, where he came in when he was going to relieve him of duty. That's a cool scene.
It's a great scene.
They could have more scenes like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, it's no Mordecai.
No, it's a fine movie.
It is.
It's just flawed.
Yeah.
That's all. You know?
Yeah. So rent it.
Yeah.
It's better than Life of Pi. I'll say that.
Oh, for sure.
No matter what anybody says.
Brian, what do we see next week?
I forget.
Okay. Well, we'll have to figure it out. Stay tuned, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll tweet out what we're seeing.
Yeah.
Are we doing that Star Wars mashup stuff?
Maybe. I mean, now's not the time to talk about it. We can talk about it after we're done with this episode.
Well, I thought your idea was to.
Yeah, but not
Oh.
in this recording. Thanks, Brad. Brad, can I end the episode?
Yeah.
Okay,
Bye.
great. Bye. We'll see you next week.
May the force be with you.
Alrighty. Ryan, when you're ready.
Are you sure you're ready?
Yeah. I ain't really going. Are you sure you're ready? Your hair's all short. You look like
It's just because I wore a hat all day.
Oh, is it?
I need a haircut.
Yeah, it made
They
you
don't
look
get these in
younger.
the police force.
And I need to.
Yeah.
I'll just freaking shave it all the way down. Get it high and tight.
You look like you did when you were on the what was that lady? That lady with the TV show where you were like,
Ricky Lake?
yeah, hey Joe, I want to bang your girlfriend.
I did not want to bang his girlfriend. I wanted to make another girl jealous so she'd date me.
I know. That's just not as funny.
You know what? I picked up dates though in New York City, so I guess it worked.
Was one of them Ricky Lake?
Dude, I banged her in the green room. May or may not have happened. That was it. My story.
It didn't
was
happen. It didn't happen. No, it may not have happened.
My story was inspired by true events. Welcome to Real Nerds Podcast, unofficially the official podcast of Denver Comic Con, back on Father's Day 2016 and beyond. I am Ryan. With me always is
Brad
and
James.
And coming back, wearing Broncos hats, is
Zach Eastman.
Hi, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Every week, the Real Nerds Podcast goes see a new movie, and we podcast our experience of the world. This week, we went and saw In the Heart of the Sea. Brad, did you see it?
I did not.
You piece of shit.
What? Come on.
We both saw Trumbo.
I don't have to see every
It's
movie.
Trumbo.
You have to see every movie. That's the point of the podcast.
Yeah,
What save money for Star Wars?
What are the people going to do for, like, the people who believe in your review the most
No
and
one gives a
believe
shit
you're
about
always
my
right?
opinion
Like,
on anything.
what are those people going to do when they're like, these other guys are saying all this stuff about this Heart of the Sea movie, but I don't know what I believe because Brad didn't see it.
That has never happened. Said no one
Yeah,
ever.
you're right, because your opinions are usually wrong.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we also talk about movies that are coming out, movies we've been watching, Blu-rays, DVDs, movie news, and movie stuff.
Yep.
You got this?
That's what we do.
I got it.
Yeah.
We're in our 5th year?
Hey, we're in well, I guess we are in the 5th year. Yeah. Shit.
Our favorite movie theater in Colorado is the Alamo Drafthouse. This is what's playing next week at the Alamo Drafthouse.
Yay.
Who are you? I'm no one. Follow me.
Nothing will stand in our way. I'll show them the dark side.
I don't know your name.
Finn, what's yours?
I'm Ray.
You might need this.
Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
And before you just say, oh, it's only Star Wars, haha, they didn't hear about it.
It is almost only Star Wars, though.
IFC is having a free screening of Monty Python's Life of Brian.
Ooh.
And A Lonely Place, Vertigo, presented by the Demon Dog of American Literature.
Shit.
Presented by the Demon.
The Demon Dog.
No, it's presented by the Demon. I don't know who the Demon is.
Oh, what?
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't then go on to say James Elroy?
No, but it does say presented by the Demon Dog of American Literature, James Elroy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's just one long sentence.
Yeah. Yes,
Why
it
is he called the Demon Dog of American Literature?
I don't know. He's
sweet.
a crazy person, and he's awesome to see live, though.
So Vertigo is a great Hitchcock film.
And I bet that would be amazing to have him, like, introduce.
Chinese Dinner Party, A Christmas Story.
Cool.
Ooh.
Entertainment and the Economy, presented by director Rick Alverson in person.
Okay.
Science Friction, Attack the Block at 35mm, hosted by the AV Club senior writer Jason Heller. Victory Vanguard presents Seven Samurai.
Ooh.
And if you guys didn't know, Thursday, you can see Brad watching Star Wars The Force Awakens at the Alamo Draft House.
That's right.
You can get tickets to watch Brad watch Star Wars.
You know what's weird is they have Batman Returns tomorrow night. I keep trying to check on tickets, and it says still not being sold.
Weird.
I'm like, it's tomorrow.
Maybe they don't have them.
Maybe they know
online.
they don't. Maybe they don't. They know they don't need to actually sell tickets to that movie because no one wants to see it.
I might want to see.
I want to see Batman throw a dude down a manhole, dynamite strapped to him, and he blows up.
Yeah, I want to see him throw a fireball at a clown.
We didn't talk about this, but last week, when we talked about the trailer last week, he has a rifle in that trailer. Is the internet on fire? Did people protest or is that going on?
They're very confused, but
are people pissed off?
It's not an AK-47. It's probably some kind of
a grappling gun.
A grappling gun, or maybe it's some chemical gun that
or maybe it shoots.
Or maybe he devised a gun he shoots at Doomsday.
Yeah, maybe maybe it's a crazy fucking nuclear laser weapon thing that kills aliens from other planets.
Wait, why do people care that he has a gun?
Or it's a stun gun.
I don't know. I don't know why anybody cares about that movie. Zach, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. What if it's a happiness gun? What if it shoots out sparklers and rainbows?
He stole it from the Joker and it makes people laugh.
Yeah, ooh. Oh. That'd be a cool twist if it turned out to be one of his...
What if he's the Joker?
What if... No, that's stupid.
What if that movie never comes out?
What if he gets blasted with, Scarecrow's fear toxin, and he's the Joker, and he kills Robin, and then he comes out of it, he's holding his dead body, and on it says, haha, the joke's on you, and the movie ends with him going, no!
Could we then say that, the whole... He basically dreamed up Superman in a nightmare, and Wonder Woman, and none of that stuff actually happens in his universe?
I don't know, I think it looks cool still.
If they go with Ryan's idea...
I'm just being a hard ass.
If they go with Ryan's idea, it needs to be executive produced by George Lucas.
What if Batman v Superman and Civil War are the same movie?
Oh. Dude, they should make a Batman versus Spider-Man movie.
Fuck yeah.
That would be cool. No, Batman versus Captain America and Spider-Man versus...
Superman? Just do straight Justice League versus the Avengers.
Oh, that would be sweet.
Which actually is what next year's box office is. But still...
the movie would cost $500 million.
Yeah.
Guys, we get to live Justice League versus Avengers in real life, technically.
Yeah.
Well, we know the Avengers Civil War is going to win.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, probably.
That's why they moved their date.
That's not fair. I shouldn't judge that movie before it comes out.
You're right. Yeah. Except for the Civil War, which we can judge and say that it's probably going to be real good.
Yeah.
I know. I was reading a really cool interview with the Russos, and they said, so was Spider-Man always part of your plan? I said, yeah. We always wanted him in it, and we wrote the script with him in it. And Marvel came to us and says, yeah, we're trying to work this out right now. But if it doesn't have a plan B, and I said, yeah, we have a plan B. We didn't have a plan B. And then my Entertainment Weekly last week came and it has Cap, Iron Man, and Black Panther on the cover.
Yeah.
And I get so excited, so I'm reading the article, and it's closing with that they can't confirm that Spider-Man's in the movie. But then it says, we can't confirm that Spider-Man's in the movie, but we can say on the set Robert Downey Jr. is walking with his arm around Tom Holland in a red and blue jumpsuit. I'm like, oh, this makes me so excited.
I was reading this new suit has, it requires CGI.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with
Maybe
it.
the eyes.
Maybe
it would make sense if they did it with the eyes. Because that's one thing that, they're doing that for Deadpool,
Yeah.
And Spider-Man's always been a guy that his eyes move and stuff with when he talks.
I did hear that they're thinking about having his eyes emote.
Yeah.
Like the really cartoony Spider-Mans.
Right.
A lot of artists draw him when he gets punched, one eye shuts down and shuts a little bit. But if they use it, maybe that's how he has the camera lenses or something to help him shoot web. I don't know. I don't care. As long as the character's cool, I don't give a shit what they do.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Yep.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do real news.
Cool.
In other news, the Prime Minister of Sweden visited Washington today, and my tiny little nipples went to France.
I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell.
I do the cha-cha like a sissy girl.
Oh, it's the ghost of Stonewall Jackson! Everyone, it's the ghost of Stonewall Jackson!
I like do the cha-cha. I'm sorry, we seem to be having some technical difficulties.
Did you guys see the trailer for the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie?
We did!
The one thing I will say that I did like about it is Bebop and Rocksteady look like Bebop and Rocksteady.
Right.
Like,
It's
you even
kinda
had,
cool.
like, the purple sunglasses, and, Brad, I'm going to defer to the turtle guy. What did you think?
Obviously, as faithful as the character design is to them, it's, like, clearly cartoons on screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The CGI is not great.
True.
But I don't know. They're definitely having fun with it. And, like, the garbage truck is a nice addition instead of the old,
Like that
the
van
little
that they
minivan
drove
they
at
had in
the
the
end,
last
yeah.
one. Sheet sewer lids, that's pretty cool.
It looks better than the first one.
Yeah.
Or at least it looks better than the trailer for the first one did. I think.
Well, you know why? Because they actually had a Japanese guy being Shredder and having, like, Shredder powers.
Wait,
Just
Shredder
cool.
was in that trailer somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's not wearing his mask.
He's not wearing his mask, but
okay.
he does, like, the Wolverine, Predator.
Oh, okay.
I was like, cool. A real Shredder.
Yeah. It feels like they're getting back on track. But again, it really comes down to the personalities and humor of the Turtles, and, the last one just wasn't funnier.
Well, and whether or not, I mean, as a film, it comes down to whether or not they can make the action scenes, like, any good.
Mm.
And there's clearly, if you, like me, sort of thought that the ridiculous, over-the-top, bombastic, we're sliding down the hill, and, like, there's also these weird jokes about Megan Fox's butt in the middle of this action scene. If you thought that wasn't a great action scene, there's one in a river this time. Like, it's, there's some worrisome things in there that remind me of things that I didn't like a lot about the last one.
Yeah.
But
And it's cool they're opening up Dimension X.
even that wasn't the worst thing about the last, like, how bad those scenes were, like when they're all like locked up, and then Megan Fox has to go and like push the testosterone button or whatever bullshit it was, adrenaline.
Yeah, that was
right.
dumb. I haven't seen it since.
That stuff really.
I bought it at Tracemark when all their used Blu-rays were $7.99 or something.
Yeah,
and they had a 3D version of it. It's like, all right.
Yeah.
So if I get that and another movie and I spend $8 on two movies, the worst things in the world. So I haven't seen it since it came out last year. The new trailer, it looks fun.
It's got Jason in it.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Casey Jones.
Yeah, whatever.
What makes me excited is I'm a fan of the 90s cartoon because that's what I know.
Yeah.
And like I said, when I saw Bebop and Rocksteady show up, I said, oh, he even has a purple mohawk. He looks like the cartoon guy.
I saw a picture of like a dude dressed up like one of them. Like, is the story here going to be that like they're dudes and then they get turned into a rhinoceros and a giant boar?
Just like a cartoon.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
okay.
like a cartoon.
All right, cool.
And actually, it's probably the same plot as Secret of the Ooze, except Token and Razor Hearts Bebop and Rocksteady,
Yeah.
as it should have been.
Yeah.
The only reason they didn't do it in the 90s is because they didn't have the rights to do it.
Yeah. So,
Really?
Yeah, so this one they're actually Nickelodeon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the Turtles belong to Nickelodeon now, but back then, like, you had, I think,
FHE,
Fox.
I remember that.
Family Home Entertainment.
Yeah, well, that was just the distribution for the VHSs, but yeah, the cartoon was, I think, Fox's property.
Oh, okay.
And then the movies were New Line, which would be Warner Brothers.
And were Bebop and Rocksteady made for the cartoon show?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, and then there's
okay.
the comics rights, and Bebop and Rocksteady weren't in the original Eastman and Laird comic, so
right.
you couldn't put Bebop and Rocksteady in the comics either, so
Huh.
until they sorted things out.
Who's playing Casey Jones in this one?
Stephen Amell, Arrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's all right.
They
There's
did-
a lot of air.
I do like how they did get in Megan Fox ripping her shirt open.
No, she's tying it. She's putting more clothes on.
Did you see the preview
I think.
trailer?
The hope
for the
is that
trailer?
she's putting more clothes
Well, no,
on.
I got the thing that she was making like a midriff for herself.
Yeah, she was like tying the thing.
Yeah.
So I guess the question is was she not wearing a shirt before, or is she untucking her shirt and showing more
I mean,
you know what?
classic
Only seeing the
Michael
film
Bay.
will know. Well, yeah, like
How
how.
probably just walking to distract a security guard or something.
This is the kind of tension that he builds that I have to see his movies to find out whether or not she's putting more clothes on or taking more
But
clothes
see,
off.
then you see a trailer for the Benghazi one, like, oh, he makes pretty sweet action scenes.
Yeah. Well, he's technically not making this movie.
He's not, but if he influences it.
Oh yeah, all day.
He's making the notes in
Yeah.
the studio.
But again, I was actually surprised. I mean, I thought it actually didn't look too bad.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't. It looks like a kids movie where some kids are playing with like Ninja Turtles and smashing them together, and like it's like what you were dreaming of when you were playing with Ninja Turtle toys. Like that's what it feels like.
I was watching.
It's what I have to try to give the movie as a And
I hope too that obviously they're going to be working on it some more, so maybe the CGI will be cleaned up a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But,
Yeah. Otherwise, I say this should just be a fully CGI movie.
yeah.
Yeah, because TMNT was cool as a like fully CGI thing. Not necessarily
And Tyler Perry as Baxter Stockman is weirdly okay.
Yeah, no,
Is that who that really was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I watched the trailer twice, and both times I was like, "Who is that guy? Is it him, or am I just racist? Like, is it just a black guy, or is it Tyler Perry?" And I felt really bad about it, but I'm glad to know that it was Tyler Perry. So,
Yep.
Good. Yeah. Not the only trailer that we got this week. Not even close. So we also got the trailer for X-Men, Apocalypse.
Ivan Ooze, Apocalypse.
Right, yes. X-Men Ivan Ooze. What are any of us really like big X-Men like comics fans? No?
I am.
Yeah?
I
Great.
love the X-Men.
How did you like the trailer?
Well, I like what they're doing. I like what they're gonna do. Like what it seems like they're gonna do with it, which is, but like my problem with the whole X-Men origin stuff has been that this is a little nitpick, but Xavier's not bald. But then they show that.
Don't wait.
Then they show in the trailer. They show that quick clip of
What
him
a
finally bald, and I'm
cheesy,
like, and I was just like, oh, okay. So this doesn't feel as strong as the other times Bryan Singer was at the helm, whether it was X2 or Days of Future Past. As far as them doing Apocalypse, I got to be honest, my knowledge on Apocalypse is very, very limited. But it seems like they got him right. I mean, Psylocke looks pretty awesome, and my only issue with the X-Men movies as they stand is that they are in their own universe. They don't really adhere to the comics that much, and when they do, they fudge a lot of things around. So, but again, unfortunately, I haven't read an X-Men comic book in a long time, but I think that this one will wrap everything up nicely, and then we finally get, I don't know if we're definitely getting Old Man Logan with Wolverine 3.
But
it looks like it.
That's what they keep saying.
Yeah.
It's some version of old, like, whether or not they're going to be like, Venom, Tyrannosaurs, or like, people paying their Hulk rent, that probably won't be there, but we will probably get some version of like Old Man Logan.
I think the essence of Old Man Logan is going to be in there. But again, they live in their own universe. It's Singer's quote unquote vision for what it's supposed to be in the X-Men universe in his mind, and so I'm down with it. I've been with this series since this is one of the few film series that I've seen in a theater consistently. Haven't missed a single one in the theater, even the bad ones.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. Like it's my ritual. I go to see an X-Men movie and I cleanse myself.
I definitely want to see another. I think it's going to be good, but I feel like this trailer is a mess. And especially to do like a post credit or whatever you would call it, like a little stinger at the end of the trailer that's like, hey, guess what, guys? He's going to lose his hair in this movie. Like, is that the stakes? Is that why I'm going to see this movie? Because it is, and a lot of the things that they like try to communicate, they then just come straight out and say. So I don't know. It feels like an odd trailer to me. But
what I did like is that it alluded to the earliest issues of X-Men with where it's Jean Grey, Angel, Beast, Cyclops.
Yeah,
it seems like that grouping is there. So that's a nice little homage to the first 38, 39 issues of X-Men before they transferred over.
It might be 12. I don't remember. What I will say is, I think why that trailer is so heavy-handed in plot is Apocalypse is really hard to describe. In comics, he's 10,000 years old, and he's the oldest known mutant.
Right.
So he thinks of himself as a god, and he thinks of himself as the original mutant, basically.
Right.
And I forget his Egyptian name, but
in the trailer they come out and say like,
that's what I mean.
They call him Ra, and they call him Vishnu and Yahweh.
I think it's Vishnu Ra or something like that. It's his comic, like his real name. But yeah, I mean, I was actually surprised because the thing with Apocalypse as well is his height and weight is variable because and they actually showed that in the trailer where he's growing big and smashing people down. And I mean, I don't know. He's a really cool villain in comics, and I hope he can work on screen.
Right.
And that they're being faithful to what he is on screen is cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a little heavy-handed with the plot, saying, the Four Horsemen, like of the apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
gosh.
I got it. But I also thought the first trailer for X-Men Days of Future Past looked horrible, and I actually love that movie. So hopefully,
That's what I'm saying. I think it is a. I don't think it's a bad sign that the movie's going to be bad because like Bryan Singer has made
all the
3
good
of
X-Men.
these. Yeah, like he's made great X-Men movies before. I'm pretty sure he can make another. He's on a much shorter timeline this time, right?
Yeah.
So he's got a lot working against him, but still, it'll probably be fine. It's not a great trailer.
I'm wondering if they're going to follow any particular storyline of for Age of Apocalypse, like the way it's run, like if they're going to try to follow a storyline or if this is their own original.
Apocalypse.
I don't know if they can at this point. Like they've fucked up their sort of plot line and their universe so much that like the fact that now they're bringing in Jean Grey and some of the other like traditional, right? So now Storm is there, but they rebooted the whole thing. So what is really canon and what isn't? And then you've also got
So
like
you've never read an X-Men comic, so
no,
I
I have.
Astonishing,
right? But I'm just saying, like I've read X-Men comics and I read some of them when I was younger too. So I know that they do that. That the comics can do that. I'm just saying, like it makes it really hard to necessarily if the comics do that, and so it's really convoluted and full of itself, and then the movies do it too. It makes it really hard for the movies to try and match a comic, right?
In essence, it's
That's
all
what I want is Apocalypse, Psylocke, and Jubilee, ready to fight an Angel, and then you have Iceman, Mystique, Cyclops coming out. And then I just want to hear the theme from the '90s cartoon. Yeah.
If that's, can you imagine if that's the way he actually ends it?
Beat Don't keep going. I only have 30 seconds to later finish what we're doing. Yeah. So I mean, there's some cool stuff in it, but
That's my first.
Hopefully
favorite
it'll be good.
Wolverine.
Yeah,
because I love the voice actor who did him.
Oh yeah,
because he'd always say "bub."
Yeah, it was good. So this week we got a trailer for Tarzan, which whatever. We got a trailer for the BFG, which whatever. But I want to talk about. Did anybody see the trailer for Kubo and the Two Strings? So this is the new Leica film, right? So people who brought us Coraline and Paranorman and all that. You got to go check out this trailer just to watch the first 2 seconds because there is. It's about like. It's sort of Japanese inspired, and it's clearly like they're some kind of wizards, but they use instruments or something like that. I don't know. There's no dialogue in the trailer. It doesn't matter. You gotta watch the first 2 seconds though, because it's a shot of a storm at sea. So it's just like, it's this really rocky. Yeah. You got the water moving, and it's gorgeous. And spoilers for later, it's better than any shot of the ocean in all of In the Heart of the Sea. Like I just wanted to stare at it. Like it's such a beautiful shot. So just go look at that trailer, and I'm sure that movie will be fantastic. But anyway, so go check that out.
I find it strange that they're not renaming the BFG. Because all I want to say
Right?
is the big fucking giant.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The BFG I think is. I think it'll be a good movie because of Spielberg, and I love Roald Dahl.
Yeah, and it's a teaser trailer. Like it hardly gives you anything.
Yeah, it doesn't give you anything. And the Tarzan one looks like it's a July tentpole movie to me.
Right. Yeah.
I'll see it because I love Margot Robbie, but
right. Yeah. And it's actually kind of interesting because I watched it going like, oh, this will probably be dumb, and then he goes to the mainland and puts on a suit for a while, and I was like, oh, okay, great. There's more story here than just he's got to fight a monkey in the woods to save his girlfriend.
When it starts, because I knew the Tarzan trailer came out, but I didn't see it. So when I was sitting watching In the Heart of the Sea, I'm like, wait, are they showing the new Kong movie? And is that what I'm watching?
That'd be awesome. Oh man, that would be really cool. Well, I got to see before my movie last night. I got to see the Green Man trailer for The Nice Guys. It was so disappointing. Oh, it really was.
That trailer looked. I saw the Red Band.
Yeah,
and I listened to I was listening to the podcast at work.
Yeah.
For which episode was it? It was
last
week's.
Yeah.
And I walked into that song. Down in this motherfucker. I just walked into work strutting. I was just and I'm hearing Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling in the background, just doing I'm in the adventure with them.
Exactly.
That movie looks so good.
The part where he throws him the gun and it goes to the window.
I love that scene, and in the Green Man trailer, they cut out the reaction to that. So that's why it's so bad. Like, all the best stuff in the trailer, they cut out because it usually has, like, an F word around it, or like...
That's the red band trailer, the green band trailer for Deadpool is bad, too.
Oh, yeah, it's so bad.
But, yeah, so...
I'm very turned on right now. That's what he says instead of, I'm going to touch myself later.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just, And even though the whole movie is basically ADR when he's in that suit, it still sounds like bad ADR when they try to replace what he says with something that's more tame.
It'd be funny, though, when they make the Blu-ray, if they do a PG version of it, and... if you're listening to Fox, you can just send me money. It's cool.
Right. Yeah, because they need to make one, for the kids.
Yeah.
Because there will be a lot of kids in that movie. Because there are going to be a lot of parents who don't realize that is not for kids.
It's just,
it's like when we would see Kick-Ass.
Yeah, or what Deadpool to me is, like, he has a cool character design, and so a lot of, I call them comic posers, like Deadpool.
Ugh.
And I feel the same way about Harley Quinn. I don't think people really know who Harley Quinn is, and it really irritates the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Someone who does love Harley Quinn for her character.
Right.
I don't know. There was this girl I worked with, and she had all this Harley Quinn stuff. I said, "Oh man, I love Harley Quinn," and I would a long time ago. And I was talking to her about. I said, "Oh, have you read Mad Love? It's a great origin story." She says, "No, I just get the stuff."
Yeah.
Are worthless.
This is why I don't buy comic book related merchandise anymore. Except for my Captain
that
America
stuff is for
jersey.
me. You gotta take it back.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, absolutely. I get that. I haven't bought, I think the last thing I bought was, I love Captain America, so I bought the Captain America baseball jersey I own.
Actually, one of the coolest moments I ever had, I work out at a gym up the street, and I don't know if you've been into Target, but they have, like, the Avengers, like, those workout shirts.
No.
So they have, like, Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I have a Batman one, too. And so I go in there, and every time I've gone in wearing my Captain America one, it's been some girl behind the desk, and now she checks me in as Captain America. Sweet.
Nice. Very nice.
That makes me so happy. I told my wife that story, and
Steve Rogers is my name.
I told my wife that story, and she said this, "Oh, really? Does she check you in as Captain America?" She does.
I bet she checks you out, too.
Anyway.
And so when I run the track, I always go, "On your left."
On your left.
That's my new thing. Thank you, James. Brad got it right away.
Way to be a real nerd.
Oh, man.
That took James like 30 seconds to get
It
there.
did not take... I was reading my notes because I'm trying to figure out...
It took me another lap for James to get there.
James, on your left.
That was good.
All right.
That was good.
What else we got, James?
I'm gonna take this one and I'll save it for later because we got a different segment that'll work for us. So, MST3K raised over $6.3 million, becoming the largest Kickstarter ever funded. Actually, just
for film.
Yeah. So yeah, because it passed Veronica Mars, which used to hold the record.
I thought last I checked it was 5.7. Really, 6.3.
$6.3 million.
Before the outside of Kickstarter funds?
Yes, I believe so. I'd have to double check.
I know they're up to 9 episodes.
14.
14.
It's 14 now?
14
Wow.
episodes.
I haven't checked it yet.
Yeah.
I bought the Blu-ray, so I'm like, sweet.
Nice. Yeah, so that's exciting. That'll be really interesting. Hopefully it's good. That's all I can ask. I just want them to make something good. So
Patton Oswalt's the new Frank.
Yeah.
Or TV's son of TV's Frank.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Felicia
You should
Day
see
is
the pictures.
You.
basically the new Dr. Forrester.
Felicia Days helped me. I don't know if you guys know that.
Fuck off.
That's after Will Wheaton yelled at me, though.
Good.
Give a little, you get a little.
Well, I guess I should clarify. He didn't yell at me. He looked very annoyed with me when I asked if he was ready to go out and do his panel.
And then,
well, I told the story, right?
Yeah. Many times.
It's like 3 years ago, so you can say it again.
Okay, so I was doing the panel of the biggest panel at Denver Comic Con 3 years ago. And it was Will Wheaton and Felicia Day. And I knew from experience that Will Wheaton and Felicia Day have probably done hundreds, maybe thousands of panels.
Yeah.
And so I always just like to meet him and say hi. And so it was in the ballroom. I don't know, it was like 5,000 people. And I went up and Will Wheaton was the first one there. And I said, "Hi, Mr. Wheaton. My name is Ryan. I'm moderating your panel. When would you like to start?" And he looked up at his phone, all annoyed, and said, "I don't know. Is it full yet?" I was like, "Okay." Moving along. I said, "Hi, Miss Day. My name's Ryan. I'm moderating your panel. Is there anything I can do for you? Want me to say anything?" She's like, "No, it's so nice to meet you, Ryan." And she hugged me. Difference between an asshole and someone nice. That's a true story.
I know.
I believe you.
I hope this isn't the first episode my mother listens to because she loves Will Wheaton.
Does she?
Yeah, she
He's a
does.
dick.
He was maybe a dick to you.
No, he also
For all
got
you
me
know-
on stage.
For all you know,
That's
you got
true.
like a message saying like his mom died.
No.
Oh.
So he takes it out on me. I could kill her.
Brad, did you just kill Will Wheaton's mom?
It's just an example. I don't know what he got.
But you know what? My favorite person
You just
to
gave
ever
Will
hug
Wheaton
me
full-blown AIDS.
was James Marsters. He smells so good.
Yeah.
Actually, every Buffy panelist I've done has smelled really well.
Mhm.
Claire Kramer. She's cute. She's like 5'1".
So cable continued to die this week, as you can now get both Starz and Showtime subscriptions on Amazon, which hopefully, if Amazon keeps pushing on this stuff, if they can go get they've already got half of HBO, because on Amazon Prime they have a deal with HBO where on Amazon Prime you get a lot of this second tier stuff, right? The older stuff, that kind of thing.
But it's a good way to check out,
oh yeah.
What have I watched? I watched Eastbound and Down on there.
Yes, that's all on there. And I mean, as free stuff on Prime is all on there. So that's really cool. And then if you take now Showtime and Starz and allow people, you can sign up for Showtime cheaper than you can doing the subscription straight through Showtime. It's $8.99 or something like that a month. Theoretically, if they can go get a full deal with HBO, and then if they can go find any of the basic cable guys, like an AMC or an FX or somebody like that wants to make a deal and get that stuff on Amazon, that would basically be the beginning of a la carte cable programming. Hey, buddy, look at your coat is so big. You've got more weight on you in clothes than you weigh in total. You know that? You are too cute. So hopefully that means that, if Amazon keeps pushing, then we can all super cut the cable and be done. Honestly, I don't even watch TV anymore. Even Fargo, I pre-bought all the whole second season of Fargo, so I just watch every episode each week when it airs on Amazon. So even that, I'm not I don't have to watch it on TV anymore. So anyway, hopefully that is something good. But that is news, unless I forgot anything.
Nope.
Good. Blu-rays?
Okay.
Cool.
What's coming out this week, you bastard?
Ted 2 is coming out this week. That's what you were referencing, right?
Yeah. You got that joke.
Yeah, fuck you. With an unrated version, because it's 2002, and every comedy needs an unrated version to make me want to buy it. Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation is coming out, which I want to check that out.
It's weird as Best Buy has a steelbook of all 5 movies.
Oh yeah.
But it's it's a thicker steelbook.
Weird.
But the ones in Canada are the regular size steelbook, and they still hold all 5 movies.
Are they all in one? Is it one steelbook?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Did you have fun
But
at your party?
the American one is almost as wide as 3 steelbooks put together.
Yeah.
But the Canada one has all 5 movies in it. Same content, but they actually fit it in one case.
Maybe in Canada there hasn't been... maybe in the U.S. they want to draw more attention to it because those movies have been released so much, or maybe in Canada they haven't had as many releases. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Okay.
The only thing I would think is that they're trying to draw more attention to the American one.
I'm getting mine at Target because it's, I told Laura to tell my family member that drew my name for Christmas to get it for me at Target because the cover is him hanging on the side of the airplane, and it comes with another hour of special features.
Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Maze Runner: The Scorch Trials, which I'm excited about.
James is pre-ordered?
No, I haven't pre-ordered it, but it at least means I can rent it and watch it before the end of the year. Find out whether or not it's going to be on my top 10.
Mm-hmm.
When is that?
January 2nd.
Filmsplosion.
Good job, Zach.
Oh, no. I know
Way to
you're
be
going
on
to
top of
say,
shit.
but
Yeah.
I'm seeing The Hateful Eight on the 31st.
Oh.
It moved up a week, so
Yeah.
are we doing Hateful Eight that week instead?
Shit.
Or are we just going to watch it and then review it the week after?
I think we should watch it and include a Filmsplosion if we have to, because I want to see The Revenant next week.
That's true.
Wait, the Hateful Eight moved up?
Yeah.
Are
So
we
the
sure?
wide release is 31st. So
well, it's technically the first, but I want to see it on the 31st so I can include it in my film explosion if I have to.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's what I'm doing.
That's fair. I think that's fair.
We are getting I believe Continental is getting the 70mm Roadshow version.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not.
Yeah.
So-
It seems like that movie is close enough that theaters that are getting it should know already. But everybody kind of knows how I feel about that whole thing.
You'd think, but Regal doesn't update their Fandango that often.
Oh, that's fair.
Because they're a bunch of bastards.
Fantastic Four. Remember that movie?
Oh, yeah.
What?
You can buy that now.
I'm sorry.
That's coming out next week?
Yeah.
I thought I heard
I
something
watched that
came
before I watched
out.
Mordecai.
Yeah, me too. I'll get it when it's, $6.99.
Roger Waters, The Wall Special Edition, which is a crazy big box set thing that looks really cool.
Overrated.
Zach, you seem excited. What is this thing?
I just love this.
You literally just you turned a fake cough into a real cough.
No, that's my acting, James.
That was all fake cough?
No.
I was worried about you. I was worried about you for a while.
Thank you.
There's some kind of documentary about Pink Floyd to make that song where they use the cash machine, right?
It's a lot. I believe it's a live performance, but it's just the box
cool.
set just looks cool.
The box set looks really cool.
I like Pink Floyd and I like Roger Waters. So
good.
You know what's the last good thing they did? Oh yeah, The Wall.
Yeah. Okay, now if we're gonna get technical,
Technical on what?
I agree with you. I just also I guess I kind of don't care. I'm just kind of The Wall is the peak. There's nothing that's ever going to beat that. Nothing they've done afterward. But
True. I don't think it's that good anyways.
Yeah.
Kevin, what do you think of Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation?
Say a word. There you go. And then he eats the mic. Season 1 of Marco Polo is going to be out on Blu-ray this week.
Cool.
Okay. Season 2 of Extant, which I thought for sure was going to be canceled the first season. That show is apparently still going. That's the one where Halle Berry has
It got canceled this year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's good, because it wasn't very good in the first episode.
Laura, order me a pizza, thanks.
Oh my goodness. Ugh.
She hasn't had dinner either.
Yeah, but you didn't say order us a pizza, did you? Alright, so here's a movie with Christopher Lee in it called Eugenie. The story of her journey into perversion.
Eugenie, Eugenie?
And I-E.
Get it? Eugenie.
Yeah.
I'm just on fire today.
Ryan, you'll like this cover.
Look at Don Rickles over here.
It's got Christopher Lee and then this woman who looks like Lindsay Lohan, and then in front of them are two ladies kissing.
Nice.
Does this say? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was at Tradesmart today, and I did get Blood and Lace.
From
a couple weeks ago when you told me about the cover. It's some dude smashing a hammer into some chick with a bikini. I don't know what it is.
Yep, it's crazy.
It's Scream Factory, so I'm like, it's probably shitty, but at least they'll do a good job on the transfer and have cool special features.
Here's another awesome cover for The Car. Which looks like
is that the one where the car's jumping over on people?
Yes.
Sweet.
So this is one where there's this car that looks like it's about the size of, I don't know, a whole house, and it's busting through a fence, and there's an entire family that it's about to crush.
Sweet.
I have a feeling that it's a movie about an evil car.
It's Scream Factory, I know that.
It is?
Yeah. It's a really cool cover. So you can check. Oh, wait.
Did that Eugenie say Marquis de Sade before it?
No, that's another one that's Marquis de Sade.
Okay, because I think I know what this
that
is.
Marquis de Sade one is coming.
Okay.
Here's the tagline for The Car. Is it a phantom? A demon? Or the devil himself?
Oh, shit.
There is nowhere to turn, nowhere to hide, nowhere to stop. The Car. Is there really nowhere to stop the car? Shouldn't it be no way to stop?
Did it come out after Christine? They're like, we need to cash in on this Christine craze.
Yeah, it's very clearly that.
We should do a killer car movie called Carnage.
Garnet.
How has no one done that? Someone's done that. Someone has done that.
Google it.
Googling it.
Marquis de Sade's Justine gets a Blu-ray DVD release this week, which is also just a movie with just a naked lady on the front.
I think this is Christopher Lee's erotica stage, not too different from Caligula with the McDowells of the world.
Huh.
Like, it's anything for a buck, man. Anything for a buck.
Blu-ray's really hard to find. The only place I've ever seen it is at the Barnes & Noble in Littleton. And I'm always tempted, like, it has, like, the 5-disc Blu-ray for Caligula. I should get that.
Have you seen it before?
No. I heard it's weird.
You'll like it. Like,
because I like sex and violence?
Yeah, I wanted to try to boost it up, but yeah, I mean, like, it's what it says. It's an exploitation film, so you'll like it, yeah.
Fans of the show are going to think that I'm like deliberately trying to promote this movie because I think 3 or 4 times this year I've announced that Blood Rage is coming out on Blu-ray, and once again this week Blood Rage might be coming out on Blu-ray. I guess I should check at some point, but I think the joke is funnier without actually any information. Still kind of a cool cover.
Blood Rage.
And not a bad title. Christopher Lee is Count Dracula is getting a Blu-ray release.
From Severin.
Mm-hmm. Scream Factory is also releasing a double feature of The Dungeon Master with Eliminators. Dude, Eliminators looks cool. Have you seen this one?
No.
Okay, so The Dungeon Master is clearly a movie where some crazy floating head dude who kind of looks like the leader of the Power Rangers is he's torturing children or something by making them run around in some kind of fantastical world and climb up a volcano and fight maybe a wizard or something.
One of them looks like they have stretchy arms.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Well, I think he's shooting a laser diagonally at the sculpture of a large monkey.
Is it coming out of his chest, or am I crazy?
No, his arm is extended No, it's coming out of his forearm. He has some kind of gauntlet that shoots lasers.
James, have you ever read the description for Blood Rage?
No, go ahead. Wait. Go ahead.
It's not cranberry sauce.
What?
What do you get if you combine Thanksgiving, American TV star Louise Lassier, killer 80 cents, and some truly gruesome special effects?
What do you get?
Why, it's Blood Rage, of course.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's not cranberry sauce.
It's not cranberry sauce, kids.
I hope that's a line in the movie. When someone is dead and there's blood everywhere. And
blood?
And a guy puts his fingers in it and tastes it. So, okay, say that line again.
Is that blood?
Well, it's not cranberry sauce.
Oh, man.
Nailed it.
All right. Then the other half of this double feature is Eliminators, not The Eliminators, just Eliminators. This is a movie where a bunch of kids and some kind of biker dude with no shirt on team up with a man who he's kind of like he's got treadmills instead of legs. He's like a cyborg man, and one arm is just like a big laser thing that's got like a gun on it. And he's driving around, and there's also a kid with like a stun baton and a woman with a shotgun.
A lot of the Scream Factory double features is Scream Factory goes into like MGM's vaults because they don't exist anymore, and they just dig them out. Like I've never heard of these movies before. But...
Oh shit! The tagline for Eliminators is Mandroid, Mercenary. There's periods between all these.
Okay.
Scientist, Ninja.
Yes.
Everyone a specialist. Together they are Eliminators.
Oh, it's a team. It's like the Avengers.
Yeah, so one of them, I don't know which one's a ninja. Oh, maybe this kid with the stun baton is a ninja. He's in black. I think he's got a sword in his boot.
Sweet.
So he must be the ninja. Which makes the woman the scientist, and the dude without a shirt the mercenary, and then Mandroid the Mandroid.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
Obvious.
So that's pretty good. All right, check that out. I'm down. And then Zombie High. I have no idea what this has got Virginia Madsen in it. This is new. So it's some kind of throwback, like 50s horror movie kind of thing. And then Ghost Story, which we've also talked about before. I thought that had already been released. So
Sometimes those movies, I just
They
looked
get-
up
they get
because
delayed.
remember The Mutilator keeps on showing up?
Yes.
That's been pushed to the 16th of February.
Again?
Yeah. So hopefully it'll show up again on our releases a few more times.
Wow.
The Mutilator.
Yeah, it's that's a good one to talk about.
I want to report, by the way, I looked it up. There's only one movie called Carnage, and it's a Christoph Waltz movie, but it's not about a car killing people.
So is it?
So we have Claire.
It's not that Polanski one, is it?
Yeah, it's the Polanski one.
Oh god!
I was trying to avoid.
This is what we do. So car is in all capitals, and then nidge is just lowercase.
Right.
With
Yeah.
blood dripping, like the blood dripping. No, it's the grill of the car. It's the grill of the car with blood coming down.
Yeah.
Instead of like Chevrolet, it says car and then nidge.
Yep.
Blood.
Yes.
Blood outside of it.
That sounds pretty fantastic.
All right.
Dude, it's like,
production.
we just made a Canon movie.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my god!
That's my career now. Canon homages.
I'll start writing the script today, Mr. Globus.
You better do it.
You saw
Never get this town again.
You saw the documentary. Oh my
You
god!
didn't finish the whole episode from last week.
No, I haven't.
Yep.
Oh my god!
Now I know what Counselor Troy's boobs look like.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay. Does anybody want to hear the plot synopsis of Eliminators?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Here we go. All right.
Do you want?
They don't get a vote anymore. As part of their experiments in time travel, Doctors Reeves and Takata construct a cyborg mandroid with the body of a downed pilot. After the success of the initial experiments, Reeves decides to have the mandroid scrapped. Not wishing to be taken apart, Mandroid flees with the help of Dr. Takata, who is killed for his disobedience. Distraught by the death of his one friend, the Mandroid goes north to America in search of someone who can help him getting revenge and stopping Dr. Reeves in whatever evil plan he intends to use his time machine for.
That all fits on the back of the DVD.
No, this is no. I went and looked up the actual movie. Yeah.
That sounds like the back of every bootleg you read.
Right.
Like,
As soon as I read it and I saw there was time travel involved, I was like, oh no, this gets better. Anyway, that's what's coming out on Blu-ray this week.
Huh, I wonder what the number one movie at the box office is going to be next week. So, did you guys know a movie's coming out next week? I don't know if you've heard about this.
The Star Wars.
The Star Wars.
Yeah.
here's some money. Go see a Star Wars.
So the question is how high can it fly? Disney is being conservative at 185 million, which would destroy the previous December record by 100 million.
But not beat the all-time record of anything opening.
Yeah, so it would beat the Jurassic Park opening of 220 million.
It'll beat that.
You think it will?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing that the analysis...
I'm seeing it at 6:25 in the morning because the Alamo shows it 24/7.
I just get a lot of repeat business.
Oh, yeah. I'll probably go 3 times in that week. I'll probably go twice in the weekend.
No, I'm sure. I was just curious. I mean, seriously, how much money do you... I'm guessing 275 is mine. That might be a little too much, but...
I would say I'm actually going to say it's probably closer to like 240, 250, and the only reason that I'm lowballing that is because I think that there are a lot of people who might wait and see it around Christmas. Because it's kind of like it's almost a week-long weekend.
Yeah.
Because they're releasing the movie, and I don't know, when they count the numbers, do they include
Thursday is
the fact
included in a Friday. Because they call Thursday like a preview night.
Right. But there's Wednesday screenings, aren't there?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think Brad, are you at the first one? Is it 7?
Thursday.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I think
7 o'clock on Thursday,
yeah,
so it's not even the whole day.
7, 9, 11, and I think 1, the Alamo showing it.
Yeah.
So like every 2 hours.
Right.
And then
Friday, it's like every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they have like five theaters or something, 4 or 5 theaters showing it every,
And I mean, I've looked, and a lot of the showings are still sold out throughout.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I can see, like, if my parents weren't going to see it with me at 6:25, they would wait and they would see it Christmas Eve or something like that. So it's
going to have legs. If there's a movie that's going to beat Titanic, or I guess Avatar, it's going to be this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope.
I'm going to kind of agree with James with the 240, 250, because I do agree, like, some people might go see it over Christmas, because let's be honest. I love all the films that are coming out on Christmas, but who's really going to want to go see Joy this Christmas?
Nobody ever wants to see a movie by that man.
I think there's 6 new movies coming out on Christmas.
Yeah, and they're all like. It seems like they're all just kind of like there because they have to get out for awards consideration. It's not. Money doesn't really tie into this right now. Like, I love Quentin Tarantino, but this might be his lowest grossing movie for a while.
Oh yeah,
because
the trailers for it sells it weird for the Hateful Eight.
Yeah,
and they're waiting. They pushed it back. I mean, they brought it up, but they're still keeping it out of the juggernaut. And I don't.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised if Star Wars wasn't the #1 movie for 5 weeks.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's just because it feels like an event. Mm-hmm. And speaking of events, Real Nerds Podcast will be changing its format next week. For Star Wars, we'll be sharing our Star Wars memories and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's basically going to be only Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the Star Wars holiday special.
Ooh.
There you go.
Revenge of the Nerds.
I'll be honest. I woke up with this thought this morning, and it's lingered and tried to find something to hold on to in my brain so that it can grow and fester into a treasonous, dangerous idea. I'm curious. So like pound for pound. So you strip away nostalgia and its importance in the history of film. On a simply character development, plot, and quality of action scenes, level, how possible is it that this is the best Star Wars movie?
I think extremely possible. Because honestly, I think J.J. Abrams is a far superior filmmaker than George Lucas.
I just want to say the thing because I like.
What are you afraid to say that George Lucas is not as good?
No. I think it's a thing that like no one is saying. Like no one is asking that question. And I woke up this morning and like I thought
think it's because
and then I was like, oh shit.
Those movies are so well regarded.
Yeah, and they are.
They should be. I'm not saying they shouldn't be, but
yes,
I think people are afraid to say that the new one could be better.
And I don't want to. I watched this video this week where it was people interviewing people as they were leaving episode 1 back in '99. And all but one of them said that they loved the movie. There was a woman's like, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time, and and the truth is, I loved that movie when it came out. So I'm going to try to refrain next week from saying anything like as bombastic as what I just said. But my hopes are pretty high for this movie at this point.
Well, it's in the right people's hands.
You're right. Everything I've seen from the movie seems great.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems pitch perfect.
Yeah. And
better than pitch perfect.
And the thing with, Star Wars, I mean, me personally, is I always expect them to be great.
Yeah.
Because I'll never forget going into episode 1 and watching it and being disappointed. But I will say episode 1's better when you take away the hype from it. So I hope that, for this movie to even come close to living up to the hype, I think is going to be a huge accomplishment for the people who are involved in it.
Because there is something very, deep here, which is that it almost can't live up to the expectation because the expectation is not just, hey, I really want this movie to be great. It's really like, hey, I really want you to redeem the last 15 years of conversations about Star Wars. Like, people want Star Wars to be fun and cool and refreshing again. Yeah. And that's what's actually at stake here. Because if they can succeed there, then they can make a Star Wars movie.
They're doing, I'm telling you, all people want. This is all people want. When BB-8 rolled out on stage and people found out he was practical, people lost their fucking minds.
Right.
That's all people want.
Yeah, I want something cool. I want good characters. And honestly, I want you to take Han Solo and Luke Skywalker and Leia and put them to bed. I don't want to see them after this. Honestly. I mean, I'll see, a movie about young Han Solo, but, do not make a new trilogy about, old Han Solo. Give me new characters and let me experience that universe.
I get that they're side characters anyway in it.
Oh, totally.
Because, to me, I think it's Rey and Finn's story.
Yeah.
Is what I get from it. And Abrams already said it's a standalone film.
Right.
And I think that's why they took the episode 7 off of it.
Right. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm excited.
Right.
That's going to do
How
really
about
well.
First I'm going to say 220 million.
Nice.
So the lowest of us.
Yeah, just because the theater count is lower. It's not the widest release, so. Sure. And yeah, a lot of people might be going
to see the
next
road
weekend.
ship.
Yeah. I was at Chase Mart, girl in the car said she was going to see that. I was like, really?
When I was in The Good Dinosaur, kids were laughing.
Yeah. Those kids need better parents.
I haven't seen Alvin and Chipmunk, so maybe I shouldn't judge the movies.
You can. I've seen the trailers.
I've seen the first two.
That's what trailers are for.
There.
But yeah, I everything I've seen from Star Wars screams to me that.
Is that Kellen shaking the house?
Yeah.
My goodness! How did he get so strong?
Everything I've seen from the trailers tells me that they have just taken A New Hope and tweaked it, and then kind of done the same thing, and that would make sense considering the reboot of Star Trek.
Yeah, true.
For JJ's sensibilities, but still, I think it'll still be entertaining, and it could rival Empire. I don't know if it'll succeed it.
Yeah,
but my prediction is it'll be up there at least.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great.
Zach?
Well, I already said my estimate, but I'm going to make another estimate. I've had this discussion over the past 6 months with another filmmaker. There's a chance this not only is there a chance that this is going to make a lot of money. As we've seen from a Golden Globe nomination for Mad Max, I don't think an Oscar nomination for Star Wars for Best Picture is out of the question.
This is my dream.
Right.
February, 5 in the morning, they're announcing the nominees for Best Picture. Mad Max, Creed, and then Star Wars shows up. I will fucking cry.
Shit.
What year is it?
Was it the 70s? I love this so much.
It's not out of the question because we're in the right frame of mind for it. And like, in case I can't come back on the show and share my Star Wars memories, when I was 6 years old, watching Star Wars for the first time, that was the best.
Hold on, sorry. Things are frozen. But it just happened. I know this hasn't happened. It may just catch up here in a second, but because sometimes it does that. But it usually doesn't freeze this long.
Visit our website, realnerdspodcast.com. You can tweet us at real_nerds. You can email us even, realnerds@gmail.com. Like us on Facebook. Hey, stream us on Stitcher. You want to call us? 720-6nerds5. And download us on iTunes. Just search Real Nerds. Thank you, Joe Kempter, for the wonderful voiceover. And also Spark Mandrill for the wonderful late-night jazz smooth sounds of movies. You can find him on SoundCloud. This has been a Nebulous Visions production.